This is the Niners News Network with B5 and the Larry Lombard.
Welcome back to another edition of Niners News Network. We're joined by Chase Patterson. Chase is 6'2", by the way. And Chase and I have been having a conversation about the Super Bowl, and of course, I think you know who I might be rooting for. This is definitely a close to home scenario. So what I thought maybe we do is go through the NFL video, the preview video, do a top 10, and give some credit to some great people with some great comments, and definitely put over the NFL for doing this. It's all really well done. Let me do number 10.
Okay. This
is by Estrasaldana 65, and I had to work on that for a while. It's Estrasaldana, maybe it's Aldana Estras, maybe it's the name backwards, 65. Kyle, please write up a perfect game plan. And I'm going to defer to the answer from Grant Cohn, who's a 49er content creator. And he said, you can tell which 49ers show up by watching the first offensive play. And if Kyle has the big guys in a jumbo package and an I formation, you know he's looking to run it down your throat. You know it's going to be a good day. But if he comes out in 5 wide, shotgun,
that might be a different story.
It's going to be a different day entirely.
Yeah, it might lead to a little mishaps once in a while. Not many, but once in a while, you see them.
Well, I definitely have a formula for who's going to win the Super Bowl, and I'll give that away with my prediction and my score and my formula at the end of the video. Or you could just hit the timestamp, because we're good at that. Those timestamps are sure helpful, aren't they?
They're really helpful.
Okay, let's throw it to you. Chase, number 9 for you looks like from @KanePo, which is the run game should be a big part for the 49ers to win.
Yeah, it will be a big part for the 49ers to win. The run is going to be important because right now the Kansas City Chiefs are 4th in passing yards allowed. Yeah, you could go off of that. Yeah, you could pass, but I think if you want to really get somewhere, use Christian McCaffrey a lot, and that'll help you get more yardage. And he's a beast. Sometimes he get a good run in and get you about 20 to 30 yards. And that's what I feel. And what do you think? Like, what do you feel on that?
Well, you know I'm a Niner fan, so I dig deeper than first string. And I know Elijah Mitchell is waiting in the wings. He's one of the most violent runners I've ever seen. He's so violent, he injures himself almost every play. Yeah. And he's waiting in the wings. And Jordan Mason is a big, they call him Skittles too. We call him Starburst. So there's a lot of big guys willing to take cracks at these.
The small part.
Yeah. So McCaffrey may be small, but he is a gigantic, effect. But we have a lot of violent runners on our team, and then you can add Debo to that too. So I agree. I think the running game overall with Brock too. And that's part of my formula at the end of the video. So this Kane Poe guy, I think he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, no. The running game will be important, and they need to really do that right away if they want to win.
Because in the Niners offense, that's a lot more than just handing it to a running back, the run game.
Yeah.
Number 8. Okay, this one goes out to the NFL announcer guy who did the voiceover. He said that Brock Purdy eats up blitzes like Shooter McGavin eats pieces of shit. But he couldn't say pieces of shit. So for those of you who don't know, it's from Happy Gilmore. Yeah. And the guy's like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. He's like, you eat pieces of shit? So that was a whole reference in the video, and I could not stop laughing. And of course, it was a reference to Brock
being the underdog. I think that's
no. Brock eats up blitzes.
Okay. Now I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like Shooter McGavin eats, and you have to understand they're tied for 5th.
Yeah.
For blitzing, tied for 5th.
Yeah. Right.
They keep blitzing. Brock is just going to keep dinking and dunking until they stop.
Yeah.
And that's not a good result for the Chiefs.
Well, we've seen this the past few games. past 2 games, we saw the blitz not really work well for these past 2 teams that played 49ers. The blitz, Brock Purdy sees it coming. He gets out that pocket and he knows where he's got to go. And all we got is,
And now that he's running instead of passing when he gets scared, it's 5 yards instead of an interception. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
7. At the Boss 93, is that the right one?
The Boss 93.
The Boss 93, okay. Niners need to play better than have these past few weeks, especially on defense. I hope they do and win one with this group. Fingers crossed emoji. To you, Chase.
I fully believe this. The defense that the Niners have been bringing are not some good defense in the first quarter. It's allowed these teams to get big leads, and it needs to really get controlled. They need to figure out, because if they let Kansas City get that big lead in the first quarter, well, think about it. Kansas City can play that fourth quarter if they need to, and Kansas City is really good in the fourth quarter. So if the 49ers are not willing to play that defense they need, it's going to turn out to be a bad game for the 49ers. It's going to be another 2020.
This is where Talanoa Hufanga, an all-pro safety, you really miss him. Also, Eric Armstead seems to be having some issues that may cause a retirement. So this may be his last game as a Niner, so we'll see. Over to me for number 6. At Hunter_756. And it says, I live in Vegas and Patrick Mahomes' fan base here is crazy. It will be like he's playing a home game in the Super Bowl. Well, Hunter756, you're in for a rude awakening because 75% of the tickets that were sold, in true rhyming fashion, the 75% of the tickets sold have gone to the red and gold. So, yeah, maybe a home game for Patrick Mahomes fans watching at the bars on the Strip. When it comes to Allegiant Stadium,
it's going to be more 49ers just all in there, causing some issues for that Chiefs to run an offense. They're loud.
I think the turf may decide. Christian McCaffrey hates turf. Bosa hates turf. It's funny, though. It brings up the point that Bosa is going against their weakest offensive lineman who has the most flags at his position. So
that will really help.
Bosa, this is a chance for him to prove his $192 million, even though most of it's already guaranteed.
It'll be a big game for him to do what he needs to do.
So Hunter756, I agree. There's a lot of Patrick Mahomes fans, but this is Vegas, and this is a lot closer to the West Coast. We could drive out there in 4 hours, 3 hours if we drive very fast, and it's nowhere near Kansas City, it's just nowhere near it. And it kind of seems like a Bay Area town. Number 5 for you by Cool at Cool9671. Cool says, the fact that this is Patrick Mahomes' worst year as a QB, and yet he still put up over 4,100 passing yards is crazy. Chase?
That is true. It's been stats and everything is showing it's his worst year as a quarterback, but somehow he's over 4,000 yards this year. I gotta say, it's pretty impressive, and the 49ers they're gonna have to do something. If this is where his year, I think the 49ers really need to bring something that he will not expect, and I don't know what that is, but what do you think that is? Like, what are you thinking?
Well, Patrick Mahomes is magical. Shanahan passed up on him for no reason. When it comes to this comment, it was his worst year as a QB, and I go back to when he was in the middle of the regular season. He started screaming at people, on the sideline, and everybody said, "You're overreacting. You're overreacting. You're overreacting." Well, it worked.
Yeah, they got a lot of favorites from him.
And to throw 4,100 yards and to have a bad year, that should just show you. That's an all-pro year. So it just goes to show you that this guy is severely underrated. Like, he's got the most scrambled yard first downs in the league. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And actually, talking about passing yards, he almost is near the 49ers total passing yards. Not that far behind Brock Purdy. So this is going to be a very close game in passing yards for both these players.
we know that a shootout favors Mahomes, but a chess move attack type of, run the ball and clock management, that's effective too. So
yeah, this is very effective.
I like that you consider this a bad year. I think Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. I respect my opponent, and I want him full strength and full health when we beat the crap out of him, the referees, and Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift comes and visit us on the Jumbotron or whatever happens.
Yeah, that'd be know what you mean.
Okay, here's one of my favorites by Jay Solonsky. And Jay says, Purdy in a Super Bowl making $800K with a 4-1 playoff record. Meanwhile, Action Jackson sitting on the couch again while making $50 million a year with a 2-4 playoff record. Has Brock Purdy already changed? Has he turned the quarterback position into Moneyball? I think it's already over. I think he already has.
Yeah, he already has. He turned it over. He really made a different change to it.
And if he wins the Super Bowl, Mr. Irrelevant wins the Super Bowl, you don't understand how bad that makes all these other coaches look. Except Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh. He has a pass. But everybody else looks like crap. Andy Reid looks like crap. Everybody, because if Shanahan can win with an average quarterback, so can you with Shanahan's system.
Yep, that's true.
Which is why everybody's trying to run it all over the league. So I just thought that was a great comment by Jay Solonsky. It really got me involved. And it's Super Bowl time. It's really excited. And I want to bring up Jay. Jay had such a great comment. I'm going to go with this. My grandma, and she died many years ago when I was very young. This is a John Brody stuffed doll. And John played for the Niners in the 60s and the 70s. So 3 generations back, my family was still rooting, even though they weren't winning. So this is a really exciting time for me. And I just wanted to share, a little family history.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you something about that question, extended. Do you think Purdy will get more money next year if they extend his contract?
No, Purdy is locked up for 4 more. 4 more, under $1 million. Now, I'm sure he can bonus.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm sure he has some, he's starting to get sponsorships too. And sometimes if you'll notice, like somebody told me he's national. He's national now on some commercial. But if you can't pay him more, you get him sponsorships. And God, he's got the face for it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He has, yeah.
So I'm really excited about him making money. But it's not always going to be in your contract. And no, as Mr. Irrelevant, he's locked up for 5 years for next to nothing, probably for $5 million.
Yeah, that kind of
so
sucks.
As long as he's that good of a quarterback for that amount of money, the Niners will remain in a Super Bowl window. So number 3 goes to you, and that is by Chris Hogue, 7823.
Brock Purdy sets the franchise season record for passing yards in a season in which his team attempted the least amount of passing yards in the league. That's unreal. When I was reading this comment, I was just amazed, and I was like, I gotta double check this, make sure everything's truly right. And I double checked it, and for sure, it was right. I was like, wow, his team attempted the least amount of passing yards, but he still broke his franchise record. It's pretty impressive for a young quarterback like that. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like there needs to be a change, and that 5 years more needs to be changed. It needs to get paid more, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
Well, I have to side with the team on this one. I think if you find a diamond in the rough with the talent and most of all the heart, I think that's when it's up to your coaching. That's why you pay your coaches to develop these underdog type of players. So I think if you lock somebody into a contract for 5 years for $5 million, hey man, $5 million to get your life started, bro. So, but for Brock Purdy to break Joe Montana's single season record with Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Brent Jones and Dwight Clark and all these huge names that Joe has played with, for him to break a Joe record with almost like half the passes, it's just a testament to how Kyle has really taken
the lead into this team and create.
Well, no, he's taken his dad's offense into the next generation.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Also,
it hasn't. It still has its value, but it needed to be updated. And now the Lions are running it. The Cowboys are running it. The Packers are running it. And all of a sudden, the Walsh family tree is just alive and vibrant through Shanahan. You know, Andy Reid is from the Walsh family tree, and just to see all these guys and from a Bill Walsh standpoint, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I loved how everybody, and again, there's no animosity this game. Nobody hates each other. It's just may the best man win. And what a great Super Bowl it'll be, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, for me, number 2, this one goes out to @TreyCarry1. That's TreyCarry1. We will miss you, game preview guy. I have been listening to the NFL game preview guy all season. I have yet to make a comment. I clicked the like button, but the BCB, the big cock Brock references, all the O-face references, these movie references, these song references, he digs so hard. And I need him to know how much I appreciate watching his previews every week, all 18, 19, 21 weeks now, whatever it is. We had a week off. But I just, part of my Sundays are football. And part of my Sundays are this guy having a ball, cutting a preview on a Niner game. I don't even know his name. But neither does TreyCarry1, because it says, we'll miss you, game preview guy. And I think, honestly, if I was doing that job, that's how I'd want to be remembered too, as game preview guy.
Well, I was going through the comments looking for these things. I saw so many of them saying, hopefully he comes back. Hopefully he's here next year. And I was like, he has a nice voice. It's a very nice voice that he has.
He's really funny. He's so funny. So I think we all feel bad for not leaving enough comments.
Yeah.
But I needed to give a shout, especially if it's the last one. Boy, it's just as much a part of Football Sundays is this NFL preview. And best of luck to you. Whatever you do, we'll follow you. You know, let us know your damn name.
Yeah, everyone wants to know. It's a big part.
Okay, number 1 for you, @Small Videos. As a 49er fan, these playoffs have given me about 12 different heart attacks. And I'm willing to bet the last game of the season is going to give me about 12 more.
I picked this one because even when I'm not a 49ers fan, I'm a Seahawks fan, but watching these games, I was like, this is how this team plays. This is kind of questionable how the 49ers fans feel. And then watching 49ers fans, like my friends and everyone, they're just like, they're all getting heart attacks. I'm like, it's hurting. Well, how do you feel about this? Do you think the same thing?
Well, at least the heart attacks now are in a positive way, because when it was Jimmy Garoppolo, it was a heart attack waiting for the worst interception you've ever seen. And then he would top it by the worst interception you've ever seen. And then he'd top it by missing a wide open guy in the end zone in the Super Bowl and Emmanuel Sanders. And then he'll throw the worst interception you've ever seen. Now we're down by so much. It's almost like the defense is giving us the heart attacks now. But I don't think you see that in the Super Bowl. I think the energy is so high in the Super Bowl. Again, I think you're going to see a lot of big hits, full speed hits. And a lot of guys make a lot of bonuses in the Super Bowl. So even the guys who just show up for the money, this is where they can make the most money. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Very much true.
12 heart attacks. It's hard to say that, because if they do happen, they're all going to happen at the end of the fourth quarter in succession, because it's going to be offense, and we don't want to get in a shootout. So how many running backs can we throw in? Let's end this video with our predictions, and I'm going to give you mine, and then you tell me even if you want to do one.
Yeah, I'll do it.
34-24 San Francisco, even though we play in San Jose. And I say this for two reasons in my formula. Reason number one, Christian McCaffrey runs for 75 plus. So 75 or more. But a lot of my friends say, well, we always win if that happens, but these are the Chiefs. And I say, I get that. So now the caveat is Brock Purdy runs for 50 plus. And if Brock crosses 50, I think it's a running game for him. And you can't take a spy off of McCaffrey to put it on Brock. And there's a lot of drop passes. There's a lot of penalties on the guy that Bosa is going against. There's a lot of breakdowns on their offensive line as much as ours. So I just think, and then for somehow or any reason, I don't know, I don't think it's going to seal the game, but it'll, kind of let people know it's out of reach, is a Jake Moody field goal. Because Jake Moody causes so many heart attacks because he misses so many field goals. So to small videos, I think the Niners win on a Jake Moody field goal. If it's a close game, they win on a Jake Moody field goal, or Jake puts it out of reach. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. What do you see the score as?
I see a score with Kansas City winning by at least 7, so 34 to probably whatever, like
27, something like that.
More or less about 27, 20, 25.
Okay.
But I feel like Kansas City will win this game because if they come out hot that first quarter or the second quarter and they just keep rolling that train, 49ers really don't have much against it, and the 49ers are not going to be able to stop it.
Well,
I think a big part of them winning it is going to be just Kelsey being there, Kelsey being open. If you guys don't cover Kelsey enough, Kelsey will be there. And it's hard. He's a big guy. He can move fast, and he'll get a lot of yards, I think, for the Chiefs. So that's my prediction, though.
I think Kelsey's going to get double covered the whole game. They have the big Rice guy or whatever, the stud they have. He's a big guy, and the bigger they are, the better Charvarius Ward is. He has trouble with speed receivers, not size. Did you talk about Charvarius Ward, who shut down DK Metcalf twice, 3, 4 times in a row?
Yep.
Okay? So, or at least 4 out of 5. So the over-under on the game is 47.5. We're both saying it's going to be about 50-something. So we're both going on the over. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
The money line is 49ers negative 130, Chiefs 110. So the 49ers, I believe, produce some more of a return on the bet. But the line is still Niners negative 2. So Vegas still thinks the Niners are going to win.
Yeah. And I really don't know what to say. I just seeing the Chiefs, how they've been playing, I really can't argue against them.
It's hard to bet against the Chiefs because it's the safe bet. But this is where I go back to the Montana days, why he won 4 Super Bowls. Is because when the pocket broke down and the play broke down, he used his legs to get 5 to 8 yards.
Yep.
And you string 5 or 6 of those together, you could go a whole quarter on offense.
Yeah.
Look for the Niners to play time management with all 3 bone-bruising running backs. Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason. This is going to be, I can tell you this, I don't know who's going to win. I think I know who's going to win, but I don't know who's going to win. But I'll tell you this might be one of the greatest Super Bowls. And no weather problems.
Yeah. So
and it's grass-like turf, so it's slippery turf, so at least there's a chance. But you see a Christian McCaffrey go down or a Patrick Mahomes go down. Now you've got guys who you don't have tape on that you didn't game plan for, and that's scary too. I think this is going to be one of the best, and you've got some unsung heroes, some big names. I just think it's going to be a great time, and your mother told me she's going to wear Niner gear unless it gets out of control, and then she's going to go to the bathroom and change in the Chiefs gear.
Yeah. I think this will be one of the closest Super Bowls we'll have yet, besides Tom Brady's and the Falcons. Besides that, but this will be a close Super Bowl, I feel.
I don't want one. I want a blowout.
You want that's what all 49 fans are saying. But
I want a blowout. I don't want to leave it up to the refs. I don't want to leave it up to Taylor Swift. I don't want to leave it up to Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to leave it up to Travis Kelce. I don't want to leave it up to the fans. I don't want to leave it to. I want to be up 34-7, and then they come back a little.
Yep,
I want to start partying in the first quarter, waving a flag, recording everything on a GoPro.
Well, we'll see.
But 12 heart attacks for small videos, and I'm sure I'll have the same. But if it comes down to a Jake Moody field goal, everybody's going to remember this video.
That's the issue. We're going to come back to this if that happens. I hope you know that.
All right. I'm looking forward to it, man. This was fantastic. Let's go ahead and cut out. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you.
This is the Niners News Network with B5 and the Larry Lombard.